look at a connection between the three different ways of writing the same solution. All right. We can graph our solution. We can write it in interval notation. Or we can write it in set builder notation. We're going to look at 4 examples. And we're going to do like, well, you'll see. Okay. Suppose we get a solution that says x is greater than or equal to 3. Does everybody know how to graph that? I hope so. Greater than or equal to means a closed circle on the number 3, and the arrow goes to the right. When you're graphing for me on a number line, you must label the origin, which is 0, and the starting point. You don't have to label any other numbers. And the reason that I do this is I want to make sure that you know that positive numbers are on the right of the origin and negative numbers are on the left of the origin. Okay? If our number was 300, you would simply put a 300 right here. You don't have to put it like way on the other side. I just want you to know that you know where it is in relation to 0. Okay. Same solution in set builder notation. How do we do it? We're coming along. What do we run into first? 3. That is equal, that's on our solution. 3 is the first thing we run into, right? Okay? Does it equal 3? What do I use to represent that? A bracket. All right, and then I keep going, I keep going. Do I ever stop? So where am I heading towards? Positive infinity, which you don't have to put a plus sign because that's just understood. And a parenthesis. Very good. You close it off with a parenthesis because there is no specific point that you're going to get to at positive infinity. This is the same thing as this. Yes? Yes, it matters. It means you didn't complete it. Okay?
So like the parenthesis part?
It's like in English class writing a sentence and not putting a period on the end. Yes?
The parenthesis part goes on like the infinity sign?
Every infinity has a parenthesis because there's no exact point. Okay? Yes?
So whichever way it's going, then that's the way the interval sign is.
Yes. Yes. Oh, you talking about here? No. In relation to x, if I wrote this way, this does not say the same thing. This reads x, my number, is less than or equal to 3. This graph would be going in the opposite direction. So that's a good question. Don't simply look at this inequality symbol and draw an arrow going the same way. You have to read it correctly. Okay? This says x is greater than 3. This says x is less than 3. Good question. All right, now let's look at set builder notation. Set builder notation is not difficult. There's not a lot of explaining to do. First thing we do is, and the braces are necessary because that's set builder notation. Just like commas are necessary and periods are necessary in sentences. The first thing you do is you show what is the variable I have just solved for, x. You draw a straight line, which is saying, okay, here comes my answer. And then you put your answer. And you close the set. All 3 of those represent x is greater than 3. Now, how could I test you on this? I could give you an inequality to solve, and I could say, give me the answer in set builder notation. And I could have these 3 choices, which are all correct for solving the equation. They all say the same thing, but I've asked you to represent it in set builder notation, so this would be the correct choice. Okay? Yes?
If it was x is less than or equal
Yes, you always write the X right here on the left side.
I mean, no,
Here?
first one. Robert?
Yes. Because this tells me what am I solving for, and then here comes my answer. All right, now let's take the same thing, but instead of greater than or equal to, we're just greater than 3. What's going to change in the graph?
Circle.
The circle's going to be open, okay? What's going to change in this?
Bracket.
You're not going to have a bracket anymore. You're going to have a parenthesis. You're going to have a parenthesis instead because it does not equal 3. And what's going to change in set builder notation? That's it. Those 3 things represent the same answer. Okay, next we're going to look at something going in the opposite direction. Okay? And whether your number is positive or negative, that really doesn't matter. I'm going to say x is less than or equal to 1. In the graph, I've got 1, and I've got my origin. I have a closed circle, and this time my arrow goes to the left. Not because that's the way it points in the solution, but because that's what it reads. X is smaller than 1. Interval notation. What is the first thing I have? Which direction am I coming from? I'm coming from negative infinity, parenthesis. I'm stopping at 1. What do I end it with? Bracket or parenthesis?
Bracket.
Bracket. Set builder notation. What variable am I solving for? X. Here comes my solution. X is less than or equal to 1.
I don't get the interval, like the infinity thing.
Infinity means, this arrow means the numbers go on forever
Right,
in the
so
negative
if
direction.
the arrow goes this way, infinity goes first, and if arrow goes that way, infinity
Yes,
goes
because you're reading from left to right.
Alright.
Okay, we're getting from our smaller numbers to our bigger numbers. Anytime you're giving answers and you have more than one answer, you should put them in order according to from smallest to biggest. Just like when we put our variables, if we have more than one, you usually put them in alphabetical order. Okay, it's just keeping order. All right, now all of you who are already done, I want you to graph write this down on your paper. Y is less than negative 2. I want you to graph it, put it in interval notation, and put it in set builder notation. Y is less than negative 2. God bless you. Do all 3. It doesn't have to be pretty.
No, I can't write it.
Check yourself. Is this what you had for all 3? It should be. Okay? Understanding the difference between the 3 different ways. Now, for your homework, how do you write your answers? Whatever the directions tell you to do. If the directions say to graph it, then you graph it. If the directions say put it this way, put it this way. If it says put it this way, put it this way. Okay?